What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nyasha and this is Makeup a Difference. Today on the video we're going to do a comparison, basically brush to beauty blender, to see which one works best. Nowadays I see people doing makeup with brushes. They use brushes instead of sponge, but this is just a video to see, hey, if you struggle using brushes, why don't you jump on the beauty blender? If you struggle using beauty blender, why don't you jump into the brush? I'm going to do my eyes because today it's nothing to do with the eyes. So I just did my go-to eyeshadow look. So we're just going to get on, like I said, this side we're going to do a brush, and that side we're going to do beauty blender. So I've got my brush here. It's got a bit of foundation because I used some foundation, and I've got my beauty blender here with me. What I'm using is the Maybelline foundation, and I'm gonna take my brush and I'm spraying it using the Morphe so that it's not dry, and I'm just gonna whack. So when I blend my foundation with the brush, I just use a stippling motion where I'm just stippling it in like that. So we're only doing one side. I have to remember that because I don't want to end up. I don't really like putting foundation on my forehead, but because I've got braids on, that forehead's out there for everybody. Right. So this is the brush, right? You can see the difference. No foundation. So now I'm gonna go in with beauty blender. Some people call it a beauty puff, but this is a beauty blender. I still got some foundation on my hand, and I'm just gonna get some of that foundation and I'm just gonna put it everywhere, and we're doing that other side. Ooh. So there we go. I've noticed that when I use the beauty blender on this side, it blends so much quicker than the brush, because the brush you have to be careful because it could leave a little lines and you have to keep going over, so it's flawless. So it is flawless. So I must say, when it comes to the foundation application with the brush or the beauty blender, I actually prefer the beauty blender. So next we're gonna go to concealer and see which one applies better, quicker and more flawless. So for concealer I am going to use the e.l.f. shade Deep Olive, and I'm using the Revolution Conceal and Define, and this is in a shade 12. So this is a bit lighter than this one. So this is a bit more yellow based. Remember, this side is brush, so we're just gonna start off with the application. My Revolution Conceal and Define just in the center because it's a tidbit lighter in that. So I'm just gonna put on one. So I'm just gonna kind of let that dry a bit. I'm gonna spray my brush before I start the blending process, and I'm just gonna start with my chin because I always like to just start with my chin, and I'm using a brush. Boom. And then we're gonna start off on the eye cheek area, Really. And because I've got concealer going up, I have to just let it do what it has to do, because then it gives me that lift. As you can see, there's a lift going on. I mean, concealer makes such a beautiful difference, doesn't it? So, and I just go at the bottom because I don't want to blend too much upwards. I'm also gonna get my foundation brush that still has a bit of foundation, and I'm just gonna go and tap just so I can blend that area, and then just so this side is the brush. You've done the brush, and right, so next I'm doing the same on that side, just the same application. And using the Revolution just inside the inner part. And I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and then I'll come back and blend it with the Beauty Blender. So now that that has dried a little bit, we're gonna now blend it with our Beauty Blender. That still has a bit of foundation, but that's fine. It's not gonna change mine, because, and I'm not gonna spray it because it's a wet Beauty Blender. It's not dry. I don't use dry Beauty Blender. I don't know how people do it, but yeah. So I'm just gonna start again with my chin. So I'm just fusing them together. Anyway, and then we're gonna start blending. I make faces when I use the Beauty Blender. Alright. And straight away I start diffusing that side. So I don't need two brushes, I don't need two Beauty Blenders. I just use the same one. I understand some people use two. I'd rather use one. So I think that's a good blend. Right. So this side right here is the brush concealer, if you can see, and this side is the Beauty Blender. Obviously, I think with the Beauty Blender, it's a quicker application because it's a sponge, and but then one thing I don't like about the Beauty Blender is it starts soaking in the product, rather than this one, it stays and you just pretty much using the same when it's like the brush. So I kind of have to say I like the brush on this side rather than the Beauty Blender, but it still all works, you know, it still all works. But that's the whole point of this video, just to show you maybe a quicker way. If you want to find a quicker way to do things, I feel like with the Beauty Blender it's quick because it's a sponge and it's easy to blend, but the brush, you are a little bit there longer just trying to tap, but then I still like that application that goes with the brush than for concealer than the Beauty Blender. So we're gonna do contour, and I will be back. So for contouring, we are using a bronzer first. This is actually a bronzer, and paired with a contour liquid. So this one is by NYX, Can't Stop Won't Stop. It's actually a corrector, and it's deep worn out, but I use it as a bronzer, so it's like a balance. And this one is Revolution Conceal and Define, and this is in a shade 18. I think it's the darkest they have, but yeah, that's what I use. So I first go in with so we're just gonna do this one with the brush. I actually just contour with the brush, but I'm gonna show you another way to use. So this is, as you see, it's like a reddish color, and I love that. I love that, and I love to put that on my forehead. So this is the brush that I use, so I just start patting it in. You see, or can you see that beautiful transitioning going on in it, that how it's just warming up my skin? Yeah, so usually when I bronze or when I contour, I use a brush anyway, but I have used a beauty blender before. So actually I have to blend out my nose first, so I'm using a different brush. So I'm just gonna tap that in. So that's the brush side down. I just love bronzer. This is even before the contour, so contour is gonna just like cut the cheeks in there. So now I'm gonna use the beauty blender. So I'm just gonna start from the bottom, and I'm using where I've not put concealer because I don't want to, and I'm tapping it in but also kind of dragging it down. So this also helps with like contouring. So, and now we're gonna blend that. But yeah, so now we're gonna contour, and I'm gonna do straight away. So when I contour, I go a little higher than where my cheekbone is. So you can see it's not too dark. It's a dark one, but it's not too dark for me, I think, because I'm already dark skinned. I'll go above my cheek, and then I'm gonna go just the same. I'm not gonna put any on my forehead because I feel like the bronzer already did some. And I'm just gonna tap that contour in, and it's giving me a bit of a cut, you know. And then on the cheek, and I also go down here. All right. Now we're gonna use the beauty blender. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I think that other one was just a bit dry, and also, yeah, good. So that's good. That was pretty quick compared to the bronzer. I think the bronzer dries quick. So I'm gonna, obviously, now you can see the whole face is done. The face is done, and I have to give it to the brush side here. But like I say, I always go back and just blend with the beauty blender. So I use both, because then you get the perfect flawless foundation routine application. So I am just gonna finish up here. Before I finish up, I also want to just compare setting your concealer with the brush versus using the beauty blender. And I've already started here with the brush on this side. It's the same places I put the same place that I put the brush, and that. And I'm gonna go in with the beauty blender on the other side. More product when it comes to the beauty blender with setting my concealer. Oh. So I like both applications, but I rather use a brush and then go back in with a beauty blender, because with a brush, with a beauty blender, you're using more product because it's wet. If it was dry, maybe it would have been different. So probably I would stick to using my brush here because I get more from it, and then I like right here a little bit more lighter. just this. So that was the comparison video, and like I said, it's a win-win. It's a both, you know, it don't matter which one you use. I think when I do concealer, I'll rather use the brush and then finish it off with the beauty blender. But I've also noticed that the beauty blender can soak up a lot more product than you would actually want, so the brush kind of helps. Yeah, so you could use both. Really, it's always a mystery, like which one do I use, which one is better, which one is gonna work quicker. What if I'm in a rush? Which one do I use? When I'm in a rush, I'll end up using the beauty blender. If you have seen 10 minutes makeup tutorial, I tend to use the beauty blender, though it soaks up more product when it's wet, but I kind of preferred it because I managed to get a lot of things done quickly. But yeah, when you're just taking your time, use both, try both. That's the fun thing with makeup. You can always try both. Try which one works for you. You don't have to copy the trends going on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye.